Good day everyone. In this video I want to give some general tips on how to reach the highest round possible and make your life easier throughout this run, or even just make your life easier if you want to do the Die Machine 20 round regular stuff. And even if you want to go for the world record at some point, this might help you if you're not that deep into the game already. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, let's talk about weapons, or which weapon you should or shouldn't use, in my opinion. First of all, let's talk about the assault rifles in general. While they are decent at everything, they don't excel at anything throughout the zombie mode. The magazine sizes are often lower than, for example, the MPs. Damage is not much more than any of the MPs is doing, especially as you will have a lot of close range fights and stuff like that. The damage ranges are not that important. And I don't see any real benefits of using any of the ARs, especially if you want to get like deeper into the game, like higher rounds. Especially, I don't know, if you want to do a world record run, I don't think any of the ARs is valid for that. Same goes for the tactical rifles. While they are fun to use and they got good damage output, they got too many downsides. Overall, the ARs are not good. Well, for the tactical rifles, it's pretty much the same as the ARs in my opinion. They are decent at everything, don't excel at anything, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the burst fire even is, in my opinion, the downside for the zombie mode, as you often will miss one of the 3 burst fire shots and lose damage due to that. Otherwise, yeah, I don't see them being valid in any longer run. It's just more of a fun thing. If you want to do the Die Machine 20 round, they are very valid. For anything else, don't touch them. So let's talk about LMGs now. LMGs, while they got massive or good damage and huge magazine capacities, you lose a lot of advantages on the other side. You will lose mobility, you will lose reload time, or you just got longer reloads, and throughout that you will lose a lot of mobility. And yeah, I don't see them being valid for anything but like, let's have some fun. The shotguns are really good in this game. Basically, they do massive amounts of damage. They will carry you throughout your run steadily and surely. The thing I don't like is the cut-off damage range about them, and that's just a personal preference, but if you want to use the shotguns, there's nothing against them. Both of them are pretty good. My personal favorite of the two would be the Hauer 77, because it does more damage, and I don't see the need for the little higher fire rate on the Spas actually, but that's also just personal preference. If you like using the shotguns, go for it. They are really good. Up to round 60 you are very good off with them. After that you will need the ray gun, but that's another story. When it comes to pistols and RPGs in general, it's just not recommended. The pistols, they struggle. It's like that. They don't do as much damage as other guns, they don't have as much ammo as other guns, and that's pretty much it. That's why they are not as good as anything else. And the RPGs, you will kill yourself, trust me. They suck. Then let's talk about the SMGs. The SMGs are actually the go-to weapons in my opinion. 2 of them are pretty shit, the Milano and the KSP. You can use them, but I don't see a point for using them, because basically the other 3 are just better in any way, and yeah, that's it for them already. So the MP5 and the AK-74 are both pretty good. Still wouldn't recommend them because they get the huge downside of having a high rate of fire, which comparably low magazine sizes, which means you need to reload a lot and you will run out of ammo a lot, and you need to buy ammo a lot, and that's also not the best thing, because you will lose money for upgrades and for some, yeah, for faster upgrades basically. I mean, if you go for the real long run, you will reach all of the upgrades anywho. So yeah, but let's talk about the Bullfrog, which is in my opinion the best gun you can go for, because it has pretty much the same damage as the MP5 and AK-74, except it doesn't have that close-up damage range like they both have. But you got the advantage of having a little slower rate of fire, which is actually an advantage in my opinion, because it makes it easier to hit all of your shots. and also you got a much larger magazine, up to 85 rounds in one magazine once you got this gun upgraded, which means if you use Pack-a-Punch you got 170 bullets in one magazine and a lot of freaking spare ammo, which means you don't need to buy ammo that much, which means you will upgrade your weapon faster and due to that have an easier time. Let's move on to the gunsmith. When it comes to scopes, obviously that's totally personal preference, even though I wouldn't use anything with too much of zoom because it's pretty much useless in this mode. You will have a lot of close range fights and will hip fire a lot, and yeah, you don't want the 2 times or even more of a zoom, or even just 1.5 is already too much. Everything below that you should be kind of fine with. For the other upgrades, definitely aim for anything mobility and equipment drop rate, hip fire accuracy, because these are the 3 categories that will make your run easier. The mobility obviously will save your ass in many situations. Aim strafe speed is really good because you can just move faster while you're still shooting, and yeah, that's just so much of an advantage in so many situations compared to anything else that I cannot recommend anything else throughout that category but these 3 points basically. After all that, let's move on to perks. We got 5 of them. In my opinion, only 2 are reasonably valid over the long run, and that is the Frost Blast and the Ring of Fire. But let's talk about the other 3 first. The Energy Mine is pretty much just gimmicky. I don't think it's good anyhow. Don't use it. The Healing Aura also might be valid if you go for a team game and want to have a possibility of reviving a mate without actually being close to him, but other than that, the healing is actually not able to keep you alive once you get hit hard by enemies or are surrounded, so yeah, I don't see that being very valid in the long run. The Ether Shroud is, in my opinion, just the worst Frost Blast, because yes, you will get invulnerable or invisible, and due to that you can move out of a cloud of zombies as they will move away from you. You can revive a teammate, but pretty much all of that you can do with the Frost Blast, and you will also deal a lot of damage. So let's talk about the Frost Blast. Yeah, like I said, it's easy to revive a teammate. You can just run up to him, use the Frost Blast, and you got like 8 seconds basically of free time and free movement, or like free space to revive your teammate and then run away. You also got 2 charges, which makes it, in my opinion, even superior to the Ring of Fire, but that's really down to personal preference. Both of them are very valid in my opinion and can be used. The Ring of Fire, yes, is really good. I mean, you get a little burn damage, which doesn't cut it in my opinion, but the damage buff you will get is really good, and the fact that you take ammo from your stock instead of the magazine is really good once you got like a huge pack of zombies running behind you, and you can just pull that thing off and pretty much shred them down. Because of the damage buff they will die quickly. It's also pretty good against bosses or like the larger mobs, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the perks. Those 2 are valid. Whatever you want to use you should use, or whatever you prefer you could use. The others I wouldn't use. Then let's jump into the game itself.
A few moments later.
Whoops, excuse these little inconveniences, I'm very sorry. So, as we are now in the game, let's talk about the beginning of the game. In the beginning, I think it's all about min-maxing, especially if you're alone. You want to let the zombies get over the fence, because that's the point where you will have a chance of them dropping items and resources that obviously will help you throughout the run. If you're playing in a team, especially with randoms, there's another trick, like try to hit as many of the zombies only once or twice, and you will get the money for them, even if other people kill them, and by that you will get resources quicker. Once the first wave is through, open the door, which I already did in this video, because at this point the enemies will also come through the barricades in the first room, which is also another way to get more resources, as you can always build up the barricades in between the rounds and get even more resources at that point. You should also always try to go for the melee kill or even the headshot kill in the beginning, as you just will get the 25 more resources or essence. That just makes your start a little quicker, and it stacks up kind of quick. And in the beginning it's really easy to get the melee kill, or I mean, I got the knife already. If you don't have, you can just punch them 2 times, starting from round 3 I think. They take 2 punches. Before that it's a single punch with the weapon. Yeah, this counts mostly for beginning. At a certain point it doesn't care that much, because let's say when you reach round 25, or basically once you reach the highest pack-a-punch upgrade, you won't need that money that much anymore. You will need it to maintain your ammunition, but you will get more than enough resources and will be around 60 to 70, maybe even 80k at some point, and it won't get very much less. So yeah, you can even, like I shown in this video, kind of abuse the beginning a little bit. Yeah, basically, if there's only one zombie left, you build up the barricade and let him destroy it again, build it up, let it destroy again, build it up. You can do this in theory till all eternity, but it's obviously kind of boring. So just get like a few more resources and keep on going. I personally like to stay in the starting area up to around 6 or 7, because that's the point where you got like enough resources to move towards the reactor and still have enough to get your first pack-a-punch upgrade, which is it's more of a, let's say, quality of life choice than actual needed, but that's how I prefer to do. When it comes to nukes in the beginning or like the early stages of the game, you should actually avoid them, as they will cost you essence in the long run. If there's none, or even let's say 1 or 2 zombies left, you might want to take them because they give 400 essence, and obviously that's more than you would get for the 2 kills. But otherwise it's just not worth it in the beginning. If you play in a random team, you will obviously have no choice but yeah, to accept it if someone takes it. But if you're playing alone, or maybe, I don't know, play with people you know, then you should talk about it in the beginning. So it's all about min-maxing, like I said, in my opinion. If you actually plan to go for something like a world record or really high round run, you will actually need the ray gun, or yeah, let's say that the regular loadout weapons just won't cut it at a certain point. So the ray gun is pretty much the meta gun you need to have if you want to reach higher levels, because that thing is just insane. It does basically insane damage up to around 100 even, and even farther. It's really the gun you need to have. You will get it from the mystery boxes, and the higher the round count is, I think starting from 25 or 30, you get like a higher chance of getting it, and yeah, you will need it. The other thing that is pretty much mandatory for any higher level run, in my opinion, is the wonder weapon with the fire upgrade, because that's the one that literally slaughters the boss mobs like the megatons and the other ones. It's really needed, in my opinion, because it makes your life so much easier. I won't go into deep on the Easter eggs in that case, but you can look up other YouTube videos that explain how to get that weapon, and you will need it, or not need it, but it will make your life much easier. When it comes to the other power-ups that are being dropped by the zombies, like the bonus points and the 2-time points, and especially the insta-kills, you should always try to take them as soon as possible, if you're in the round, or the round just started, because they will also make your life so much easier regarding the insta-kill. Double points and the other thing is also just like a little quality of life. Max ammo is also very nice, obviously, and should be taken as soon as possible. But if you are, let's say, just have full ammo, then maybe try to empty 1 or 2 magazines before you take it. They are on the field for, I think, around 30 to 40 seconds. I haven't exactly stopped the time, but you will see them starting to blink, and that's where the point where you got like I think 5 seconds left to take them. So yeah, you should always try to use as much of the time you got before taking them. Same goes for the insta-kill. If you're at the end of a round, or let's say just slaughtered the last zombie and it drops an insta-kill, try to let it stay there or rest there until the next round starts and take it as late as possible so you got more of it. Or yeah, once you got like around 10k or even a little more essence, I would start moving towards the reactor, because yeah, that's also the point where the zombies will have a little more HP and you might want to have, well, you might want to have the first Pack-a-Punch upgrade, just because it's also quality of life. It takes less time to kill them, and that's obviously a good thing. Also, you can get maybe your first weapon upgrade if you already got 250 of the green resource. I don't know if that's like coal. I think it should be coal or something like that. Or maybe even iron, I don't know. It's not totally clear by the picture. Like you see now in the video, there's this really nice spot that you can hold and defend before you open the reactor doors. Depending on how much money you want to make or how much money you need more before you can go for the first Pack-a-Punch. Yeah, just hold this position, because there can only be zombies coming from two directions, basically from the left through that hole, or like just from down the stairs. And it's really easy to defend. You can really easy escape, just like run around, jump over and go to the other side, rinse and repeat. And even without upgrades you can actually go like, let's say around 13, 14 if you just want to see how much fun it is to play without unupgraded weapons. Yeah, but that just like as a side note, take this as a side note. It's not needed. You can just also open the door or go for the upgrade. Well, so once you activated the first portal, there's not really a reason to not immediately go through it, so just do it. And if you get to the surface, there's already the fuse which you will need for getting the fire wonder weapon ready. Like I said before, if you don't know how, please look up another video. There's a lot of them out there explaining how to. You should also take your time and maybe crush the crystals, because besides resources, or essence better said, and armor plates and also ammunition, they might drop a self-res or even a weapon in rare cases, which is good. I mean, free self-res is really nice, but if you play alone you already got one at the beginning, so it's not that much needed. But if you play with other people's self-res is always helpful, especially if you want to go for a longer run. Well, once you got the machine up and running, you should immediately go for your first Pack-a-Punch upgrade and an ammo mod upgrade. I personally would recommend the electricity upgrade. I think it's basically the best of them, and once you get the perk with the extra ammo mod, you will have all of them in like a random cycle anywho. So yeah, also that's the point where you should try to make the zombie dance Easter egg for the extra resources and a chance for a high tier weapon. You will also get the Juggernaut perk. Yeah, and you should use the time for the zombie dance animation to go up again into the first room and try to kill the crystals to get some more stuff. That's also basically about the min-maxing part. Use your time as effectively as possible to get as many resources as possible in the early stages of the game before everything gets a little bit out of hand. Once you got all of that finished and yeah, are basically set up for the game, maybe you also already got the wonder weapon fire upgrade, then it starts to get all about movement and yeah, stay in rotation, basically stay on the surface, make sure you don't get surrounded, always pay attention to your surroundings. The indicators from where you get hit are actually very helpful. Like if you see you're getting hit from behind or the side, already start running, because in the later stages of the game those zombies can deal a lot of damage, and if you don't pay attention to them even for a little bit, they will kill you really quickly. Also, you should try to use as much of the utility that you find lying around, like stun grenades, frag grenades and all that stuff, because it will always give you extra essence if you use them, and just makes your life a little easier with that extra essence. Also, you will get the next Pack-a-Punch upgrade quicker and stuff like that. That's like only a small part of the min-maxing, because at that point it really starts getting a little more wild and you will have to pay more attention on the actual wave instead of what you want to upgrade or anything else. When it comes to perks, I always try to get the stamina upgrade first, obviously, because the extra movement speed is really beneficial in any situation. After that, Juggernog if you don't have it yet, and then basically the reload, and after that you can do whatever you want with the perks, like how you want to get them. Basically I tried to even get the stamina before the second Packer Punch upgrade, and after that the other perks, and then in the end the last Packer Punch upgrade. I think it's the best way to do it, but that's obvious personal opinion, so when you want to do it other way around, it's also your good right to do so. Well, if you are playing in a team in the later stages of the game, you should always try to kind of stay close to each other in need of assistance, but also like try to have preset areas for every player that he tries to stay in and rotate around, because if you like move by a player and got a pack of zombies behind you, they will attack the closest player to them. So basically your ally might die because he gets attacked and surrounded from behind, because he didn't know there was like a huge pack of zombies coming that actually was chasing you. You should always be aware of the overall surroundings and what's going on, and try to help each other as much as possible without actually hindering each other as much as possible. If you're playing alone though, you should always try, in my opinion, to stay at the plane crash site, because this area gives you the most opportunities to evade the zombies, and because of the climbing animations and stuff, it gives you chances to get more distance in between you and the zombies if you're running away and you're getting chased. Yeah, but that's also like personal preference. Some people like other areas more, but I think it's actually the best. You should also try, when you got enough essence, to basically open up all passages, because if shit gets wild you might need escape routes you can use. Another huge advantage of the plane crash area, in my opinion, is that there's a teleporter right below the cockpit. Once it starts hovering in the air when you went through the ether, you can always use that teleporter to get right through to the armor station and gun upgrade station. That's a really nice shortcut that is not expensive to use, and even if you are chased by a huge pack of zombies in the later stages, you can just quickly use it, reset your armor, maybe even go through the portal up again, but you need to be careful because they will be coming quickly after you. But yeah, that's a good escape route if even up on the surface shit gets too wild and you need a little breather. Just as a last overall heads up, if you want to extract, you should always try to have a monkey bomb with you. And even before you want to extract, the monkey bomb is also a good option to give you some more breathing room. You can just throw it and the zombies will be busy for around 10 seconds that you can just move around. But don't forget the wolfhounds or the hounds and even the megatons or like the larger mobs don't give a shit about the monkey bombs, so they will still chase you. So don't feel too comfortable even if you drop it down. But yeah, back to the extraction, you should try to have a monkey bomb and basically the chopper gunner. The chopper gunner is pretty much OP in that stage, because they will be all in that one area and you can just mow them down very quickly and take the easy extraction. If you're in a team, you should try to have 2 chopper gunners, especially if you are in the later stages of the game, because the zombies will take a lot of shots before they are killed. The chopper gunner does around 4,769 damage, I think, per shot, and yeah, those zombies are up to 30k HP or even more, so yeah, you will need 2 of them to clear the area fully, probably. Well, thanks for watching. This is basically the end of the video. I hope you found some of the tips I gave helpful. Obviously weapons and stuff also come down to personal preference, so if you prefer using the shotguns, I can totally understand that. They are very good in this mode. Yeah, if you want to give some critique, I would be very thankful, because this is basically my first real video I made with commentary and editing, so yeah, anything would be appreciated. See you soon and thanks for stopping by.
Undead neutralized. Finding Molotov. Monkey bomb in the wild. Brain eater down.